If you find your lower back pain or sciatica or whatever symptom you're experiencing from a herniated disc or bulging disc coming and going, right? The pain is good and bad. It's how you have good days and bad days. The pain is really bad for a month, but then you have a week that you feel amazing and it's kind of confusing. You're not sure what you did to make the pain worse, but you're also not sure what you did to make the pain better. If that's you, if you're as frustrated as I was after my ruptured disc and degenerative disc diagnosis and living with chronic pain for so long, I'm gonna show you why this happens. Your pain is up and down, but more importantly, what you can do to hopefully stop it for good. If you're new here, my name is William and I teach chronic low back pain sufferers how to overcome years of chronic back pain by mastering their mindset, improving their movements, and building smarter strength. So if you've seen chiropractors, you've had injections, you've done rounds of PT, you don't want to have a repeat surgery, and you want to do things naturally. You want to heal your body without the medication and the random survival strategies that you're doing, this is the place for you. So now over 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with a ruptured disc, my L5-S1 disc, and degenerative discs above that site. As soon as I was given that diagnosis, now I'd been living with pain for a while then, but after I was given that diagnosis, I jumped right into the mechanical stuff, exercises, chiropractors, massages, PT, all the things that they were telling me I should be doing to heal my pain. And I was really doing nothing to focus on what actually mattered. And the first thing that I think everyone needs to spend a lot of time understanding when it comes to getting to the root of why their pain goes up and down is looking at your movement routines and habits. There are pain patterns and there are pain relief patterns that we have. Now, unfortunately, when we are focusing so much on the pain, it seems like everything causes pain and we get clouded, our judgment gets clouded and we become very hyper vigilant on the pain side and not so much on the pain relief side or the no pain side. Well, when you're dealing with years of chronic low back pain or you're dealing with pain that goes up and down and it's very confusing no matter what you do, you've got to start looking at patterns with the things that you can control. And the number one thing we can control is our daily habits, our daily routines, how we use and move our body. Now, there are a lot of trains of thought. There's the McGill way of thinking, nothing against the McGill method, but the McGill way of thinking is, finding a neutral posture, spine hygiene, don't bend, don't flex at the spine because of the fact that it might be causing you more pain. And there's truth to that. There's value in that principle, but that's just one element of looking at movement, your habits and your routines in hopes of getting yourself out of pain. So if you find yourself constantly putting yourself in situations where you're like, man, these are all of my pain patterns. These are all the things that cause me pain. Well, that can be one sign or one thing that you can start looking at or focusing on that will begin to stop the looping of the on again, off again pain that you have now. I look at movements and habits like termites, right? So you have this beautiful deck and maybe it's an older deck, but termites work from the inside out, right? It's very rare that you see most of the damage on the outside of the wood. It's all internal. So on the outside of the wood, the surface level, it looks fine. You look put together, the deck looks strong, it's beautiful. But on the inside, these termites have been munching away and destroying the actual structure of the deck, making it weak, causing it to fall apart and become a dangerous situation. So think of these termites as these little movements, right? You keep compounding these movements, these patterns, these habits that you think are good for you, the stretches, the core exercises, the 4 or 5 days a week that you go to the training and then you get adjusted and on the medication you take to calm everything back down. You have this routine, these habits that you have when they're really just little termites and they're eating away at your opportunity to be strong, to be pain-free, to find a consistency in your pain now. And from that point, once you understand that, you can begin to build on that to get more and more progress. Now, the second one is a doozy. This is one that I see people struggling with all the time, talking with thousands of people, having gotten hundreds and hundreds of chronic low back pain sufferers out of chronic low back pain. This is one of the hugest problems that I see, and it's masking symptoms with random survival strategies. Now, this can be strategies such as stretching. It can be strategies such as Pilates, or maybe it's yoga, or you have a gentle body pump class that you take once or twice a week. It makes you feel so good. Whatever it might be the medication, right? It might be the chiropractic adjustments. It might be the massage therapy, the cupping, the dry needling, the injections. All of these these things are simple masks. They are masking what is actually happening underneath what you're doing, right? And a lot of modalities that touch the body, that cause sensation on the body, makes us feel good. There's a reason why we go pay people to massage our bodies, because it feels good. So if you're going into the massage parlor to get your low back rubbed out because it hurts and it's painful and you feel semi-good, but then you gotta keep going back every other week or once a month to keep your maintenance up, that's not getting you out of pain. And what happens is we become addicted to these survival strategies. Let me know in the comment section below, do you find yourself doing something, chiropractors, PTs, injections, medication, whatever, that you're like, I feel like I might be doing that to maintain maybe some control, but it's not taking away my pain for good. If you're willing to admit to that, drop in the comment section below. I know that was me. Core training and working out, that was my thing, right? I'd work out, I'd do the core training because I felt good. I felt stiff and tight and the blood flow was going. Therefore, my back felt a little bit better. But after all that, my back was back to hurting because there's so much more involved. So in order for you to truly beat years and years of chronic low back pain, but more importantly, get out of this vicious roller coaster up and down of pain, you've got to understand what you're doing that is potentially masking your symptoms, giving you some air, some space like medication does, that will force you, or not force you, but then you'll decide to go do something more, to exercise harder. You feel good, so let's get it all done today. But what happens is it's overstretching, it's overreaching on your current pain threshold. And if you're always overreaching on your current pain threshold, then guess what? You're gonna be in chronic pain. And you might feel good because the medication has dulled the symptoms, but now that you're coming back out and you're trying to do something more than what your tissue can actually manage, guess what's gonna happen? When that medication wears off, your symptoms are gonna pick up, and then you're gonna take more medication. You'll do less work for the next 3 or 4 days because you'll be in a flare-up and you'll be laying on your heating pad. We gotta stop that pattern, 100% stop that pattern. So this strategy of masking, of building up this toolbox of fake relief, is an addiction. I'm addicted to it. Everyone who walks and breathes on this earth becomes addicted to those things when they're living in pain for so long, because we're trying to survive, and I understand that. But I promise you, if you keep doing that, your pain will always do this. And when it goes down where you're feeling good, you'll always be in chronic pain, because feeling good will never truly actually feel good. It just feels a lot better than a 9 out of 10, okay? Trust me when I say we gotta break that pattern. The third biggest reason why your pain looks like this, ups and downs, good days and bad days, is you're doing too much too soon. I can't count how many conversations I've had with people who are like, I felt really good on Monday, so I went out and I just ran a 5K. It's been a while, I know I can, I've done it so many times in the past, and I just had a really good day and I went out and ran, and oh my gosh, I paid for it later. If you find yourself paying for it later, that just shows you that you're doing too much too soon. I talk about this all the time when it comes to chronic back pain, especially with people who are having ups and downs or roller coaster pain symptoms from a herniated or bulging disc. Is you've got to respect your current state of tissue health, or your capability, or I also use the word your current pain threshold, right? There's a certain threshold of activity that your pain system feels safe doing right now. If you are constantly pushing beyond that pain threshold, then you will constantly be in a loop of pain because your body no longer feels safe doing those things. You push too much, you feel good maybe while you're doing it, but man, the recovery takes weeks. Your pain is flaring, your sciatica is going crazy, you can't show up to pickleball, you can't work out for 2 weeks. This is a real thing. And what happens is we get on this back and forth roller coaster of doing more than doing less and never finding that consistency. But more importantly, we get caught up in thinking that we should be able to do more because we're physically and mentally strong enough. Chronic pain is not a respecter of mental toughness or physical ability. Trust me, it is not. I work with a lot of elite level people, both in the athletic realm and both the job or career realm. People who use their bodies in way more demanding ways than I have ever done in my life, and I get them out of chronic low back pain. And they follow simple rules. And one of those rules is not doing too much too soon and giving their body the chance to heal and build that resilience as long as they're following the right path. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you find yourself doing too much? Always recovering, always pushing a little bit too far and then paying for it later. If you feel like you pay for it later, put that in the comment section. Would love to just be able to relate to somebody, because I know that was me personally. So it may not be you, it might just be on myself. If that's you, make sure you let me know in the comment section. Fourth and final reason why your pain is never consistent, it seems to never be working out in your favor, in fact, you're just on this vicious roller coaster, is you have an oversensitive pain system. Now, I usually talk about the pain system first because it's the number one thing, right? You can't overcome chronic back pain through stretching and core exercises, PT and surgery, injections and cupping, and you just can't do it, right? Because your pain system is what controls everything. So what happens when you've been living in chronic back pain for years is your pain system becomes not trustworthy of you, where it begins to send pain signals, creating this fear cycle, this pain, this protection mechanism that you have without even doing anything super dangerous, right? It's walking 30 minutes and then walking 45 minutes. 15 minutes of walking is not a dangerous thing, but if your pain system is overstimulated, oversensitive, you can walk that 45 minutes and it doesn't care because you're overstepping your boundary at your current healing potential. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking, genuinely thinking, like if someone were to sit down and tell me this 15 years ago when I was living in chronic low back pain for 6+ years, unable to even hold what is now my older daughter, who was just an infant at the time, like my life would be changed. So I really hope this is resonating with you. I hope if you're sitting here like, yes, like my pain does ebb and flow. It's so frustrating. I'm trying to do all these things and maybe it is my pain system, right? Maybe I am doing too much too soon. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention to my habits and routines, right? Maybe I'm leaning too much on these weekly chiropractic adjustments. I just had a conversation with a new student of mine who's been seeing a chiropractor for 15 years. He's been in chronic low back pain for 15 years. So for 15 years, he's been seeing a chiropractor for his low back pain, and he is still living with low back pain. It's super sad. It's super sad, but not anymore, because he's gonna actually break through that stuff and we're gonna get him out of pain 100%. I guarantee it. But this is what you're dealing with. If your pain is up and down, roller coaster, all over the place, inconsistent, these 4 things are some of the best places to start. It's what we dive deep into inside of my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. If you want more information on that, there's a link in the description box below. If you want something to just like maybe start doing right now, what's a simple routine, habit change, maybe some exercises I can do to help with some of this sciatica, with this consistent or inconsistent pain that I'm having. Sometimes it's just a starter, simple exercise routine, and I've got one for you. Just go to fitnessforbackpain.com/routine. I have a very simple daily routine that you can follow with the exercises, the reps, the sets. Great for people who have sciatica or pain from a herniated disc or bulging disc, or just chronic low back pain who finds really any type of movement becoming very, very stiff and painful. Go grab that routine. It's my free gift to you just for coming here, checking out, sitting with me. I hope this video has provided a ton of value. The guide is free, fitnessforbackpain.com/routine. Go grab it. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I will see you in the next episode.